off maintenance day for Coots?
Yes.
And with regards to Carter, do you envision him being healthy enough to play?
No.
No. So Sandstrom will come back for
Yes.
one game?
With the state of where your team is now, do you, as a coach, do you spend less time on pre-scouting the other team than you do with other teams?
I don't spend much time pre-scouting the team from day one.
Oh, okay.
Really don't. I mean, we know certain points of the team. If there's we don't show any tape of the other team, other than special teams. Never have, because I'm more concerned about how we're playing.
And all of your other stops you're talking about too? It's just not your stop.
I do not show tape of the other team, other than special teams. We'll have points if there are one or two important points. We'll bring it to their attention, but I'm not sitting down with our team and watching another team. I've never done it.
Last night, did you think that the line with Paling got a boost, moving him up in the third period, winning a lot of battles and things like that?
I thought the line played better. When we moved it around, I thought it brought a little bit more energy to that line, and they had some good shifts, score a big goal.
John, I know you're not looking up in the stands and seeing how many fans are in the building, but do you sense a little more energy? Do you sense a little more energy in the building now that you guys are getting going?
I don't. I just haven't. I just don't notice it. You know. I haven't. Again, we make our own bed. We gotta play good hockey. We've got to win. We've got to get into some playoff series along the way, win some play, and that's when you start getting the people back in. And they don't want to come in, they don't come in. All we can do is try to be the best we can be and keep on building this the proper way.
Scott Long actually used that quote. He said, "We make our own bed." And he said he appreciated that it's a working class fan base that might not come to a game if they're frustrated with the team.
Yeah,
Do you appreciate that?
yeah. I love the sports town here. I'm a huge sports fan. The Eagles, baseball, all the things going on around here. I love it. I hope we're part of it, but it's their call. It's the people's call when they decide to come in and watch us play. My job is to try to put the best product on the ice with our team, and go about it. It is. I hope we become part of it.
John, you guys brought Lexell on the road trip. He obviously got in the one game because Ryan got sick, but there was maybe a thought that he might head back to the AHL now that you guys are back. He's still here. Do you envision getting him into some games in the future?
I have no idea.
So that's not part of any plan or whatnot?
No, he wasn't coming here. We when we traveled, we needed an extra forward. He was playing. Don't get me wrong. He was playing well. The reports we got on him, and but it's not. We didn't bring him up here to play. He was a depth guy. We felt he was the guy to come out of there. If an opportunity comes up, he'll play. But I'm not going to change the lineup because he's here. I don't think we're in that situation right now.
Talking to Scott Long, he said he needs to step up 5-on-5. But is there something specific that he needs to do better to get the scoring up on 5-on-5, or is it just puck luck at this point?
I don't know. The biggest thing with Lotz, the only way Lotz goes is competing. And I thought him and a couple other guys, they looked a little sluggish last night. And it's to be expected. We've done a lot of traveling, really to the west, a lot this first third of the year. We got one more coming up after Christmas, and I think that's our allotment. I think we're done with all of it. It's been a lot, and I think sooner or later it gets to you. I hope it doesn't get to the whole team. Maybe it's an individual or two. I just thought Lotz fought it a little bit last night with some coverages and just the pace of it. And goals. The only way Scotty Lawton becomes a really good player in the league and his goals will come is that he continues to compete. And I don't think there's any other way that he knows how.
Do you have any relationship with the other managers in this town, whether Sirianni or Rob Tom? You ever meet any of those guys?
No, I haven't met him. Rob and I have exchanged a couple of texts along the way.
Okay.
Big hockey fan, Canadian. Yeah, I've kind of followed him a little bit during his runs here, but haven't really talked to too many people. I think I'd love to, but sometimes you're in your seasons, and I barely talk to Lappy, our American League coach, because we're just so focused on our group. So, but Rob and I have kind of exchanged a couple of texts. The football coach, Sirianni, I haven't. Looks just like Nick Foligno. Every time I see him, it's Nick Foligno. Doesn't he?
Yeah, he does. That's
Oh, my God. I mean, I coached Nick for 6 years. Every time I look at him, it's freaky to me.
Well, I think you guys would get along, you and Sirianni, same kind of fiery guys.
Yeah, I don't know. I hear I think he lives out where the players are at. I know a few people told me he says he's a terrific guy. He's done a fantastic job there, but we just have not communicated. Maybe someday we will.
John, we talked a little bit after the game about Joel Farabee, and you said that you're sure he would love to be on the power play penalty kill, but the fact that he's just kept his mouth shut and kept playing has really impressed you. I guess with regards to the power play, though, what does he need to show you to get back on that power play?
It's not so much what he needs to show me. It's we're trying to stay with some units so they can gel. I think Rocky has asked me that at times. I'm a little bit too. I think he thinks I'm a little bit too quick in changing personnel. He believes in trying to keep the personnel and trying them to work together to be better. So I've kind of left that to him. But I think I think you're going to see Beezer get some time here. I do. I sooner or later, when a player is kicking in offensively and just playing consistent hockey, you have to give him a chance. So I think you're going to see him get some time, and we'll see where we go with it.
Are you impressed? I know you said after that benching that it was over the day after, but are you impressed with how he's shaken that off as quickly as he has and gone back to producing?
Yeah, I don't know. I think that's part of your job. You got a bitch with me about it, you come and talk to me. Beezer has before in situations, didn't this time. I think he knew why he was benched, probably didn't agree with it, but didn't feel he needed to come to me, and he just kept on practicing, kept on going about it, and I was done with that 2 seconds after the game was over. I was done with it after I knew I was benching him. I think he understands that about me. So, yeah, impressed. I'm not impressed with that. I think that's part of a player's job is, okay, if that's the way it is, then I got to find another way to get back in there or get my minutes back. And I think that's what Joel's done. I think that's part of the athlete's job.
A lot of times after a player misses an extended period of time, he comes back, there's an adrenaline rush for a few games, and then sometimes there's a little leveling off. So I'm curious as what you've seen with Ristolainen in his couple weeks back.
Steady. Steady. You're talking about the power play. I don't think we're getting enough pucks to the net on our power play. Gave him a chance there. Ends up getting 3 shots on goal on the power play. End up getting a couple of chances after a shot on goal on the power play. I think he's just, as usual, other than the first 10, 15 games last year, if I remember correctly, where I just didn't know where he was going. I think he has just played and doesn't say much, takes hits. He is just steady. And as long as he moves his legs, he's a really good hockey player for us at that position. A right-handed big defenseman that's willing to take time and space. I think he's done the job.